you're new here, thanks for checking us out. If you're a long-term follower, once again, thank you for hanging out. Today, we're going to actually go do something pretty cool. A local friend of mine, Glen Brooks, who, if any of y'all are active in the Northern California reptile groups or just online, you'll probably see his fantastic photography of an array of different species that he keeps. Well, Glen and I have gotten to know each other over the years locally out here in the Sacramento area through the Herp Society and just sharing some common interests in species. And he's had another fantastic litter of some Mandarin Sanzinias, the Madagascar Tree Boas. So we're going to go take a look at those, and I'm going to help him determine the gender of his offspring, just double check, and just play with some pretty amazing and unique African boids, Madagascan boids. So pretty cool snakes that you don't necessarily get to see all the time. So I'm going to bring you along with me for that, and we'll go check some of those guys out. But first, I got my very first corn snake in 22 years of keeping reptiles. Somehow just went from king snakes straight to pythons and boas and other things. Just never gave corns the time of day. But a friend of mine produced a beautiful litter, and he really wanted to send me one. So I now have a corn snake. So Manny Siliezar of SoCal Colubrids, produced a beautiful clutch, actually a couple I think, of some, what does he call them? Strawberry ghosts, coral ghosts, something like that. Coral snows. I don't know enough yet about these things, but I know that this is a little anery corn snake. See that little dinosaur foot stamp on his head? That's pretty cool. His name is officially Littlefoot. But he is a beautiful little anery corn. He's 100% double het, amel and strawberry, and 50% het motley. Pos het, I should say. So, but he's just a rad little dude. He came to me eating live pinkies, took a frozen thawed no problem, and then went straight into shed. And so last night he had his first shed with me. He's got this crazy little, tiny little expression of like a paradox, like right there, right where my finger is, where the red bleeds into the gray where it's not supposed to. But yeah, pretty cool little snake. He's about as curious and active and tuned in as my Cribos, which is impressive because this dude like pokes his head out of the hide and he just watches and sees what I'm doing. But he is in quarantine as per my usual protocols. Everything that comes in does it. So I'm going to shower and completely change before we go hang out with Glen and play with some cool Madagascan snakes. But I wanted to introduce you to Littlefoot and give a big shout out to my boy Manny down there. So I'll put his info in the description below in this video, so if anybody's looking for some corn snakes in the area, you can check them out. But yeah, amazing, awesome little snakes. I can't believe I overlooked these things for like 20 years or whatever it was, 22 years. I don't know, it's just, you know, once you get into pythons and just kind of the mystery of them, I just never gave these guys the time. But colubrids are coming back. Colubrids are becoming sought after again because people are getting tired of the commonplace ball python trend and everything like that. So I think people are starting to branch out and find out all the other cool snakes that are out there. So I'm going to pop this guy back in quarantine. I'll give you a little shot of that actually. So I'm using this tank as like secondary containment, and then just running quarantine tubs in there with thermostatically controlled heat in the back. So that way they're in tubs. If they sneak out of the tubs, they're still contained. And yeah, so dude's going to do a little bit of quarantine and grow in there before we introduce him to the main collection. So alright, without further ado, I'm going to go get cleaned up. Catch you guys in a few. We're going to go see what's up with Glen. What's up, everyone? I'm over here hanging out with my good friend Glenn, and aside from getting schooled on corn snakes and colubrids and all the fun stuff that I don't have yet, I'm here to check out some of these. And if you know what these are some of the most unique tree boas that you could find. So these are the Mandarin Phase Sanzinia madagascariensis, the Madagascan Tree Boas. So I'm going to set this down and we're going to get to sexing these babies, or determining their gender, as YouTube prefers. You can't say that anymore. So we're going to have some fun, and y'all are going to get to see what these little babies are like. Alright, so we'll just see if palpating works. I mean, boas, I don't feel anything. So we'll hang on a little bit. It's a female. So, scent glands, but no peens. I don't feel anything down there. This, to me, is a little leaking.
They like that.
Little leaking female.
Awesome.
That's amazing. Look at that color. Wow, they changed so much. Alright, this one's here. I'm just going to show this off because this looks super cool. We're perched on the water bowl. Talk about efficient. I'm going to take a nap, and if I want a drink, I'm already there. So you might be a boy, I hear. And a nippy... Oh, there's our first Sanzinia bite of the day. Oh, that's a boy for sure. Yeah, you can palpate these just like boas. So, I don't know if it'll show up. Bink, bink, right about... Pop, pop, ow. Feel the release of some tissue, and that's hemipenes in the base of the tail. Arr! Don't touch my tail. Look at this color. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at this animal, dude. Alright. This one's got like a different tone of red. It's like brick red and orange. Look at that belly. Look at this thing. These are cool. Are you watching what I'm doing over here? It's a female. This is a little lass, a little girl. Let's see if I can cover my face. Get this to focus. Yeah. Look at that. Nuts. I love Sanzinia, dude. They're so cool. It's like an optical illusion. Look at all of that color, dude. I don't really need to pay rent next month, do I?
No.
No.
Get a couple of those.
Yeah, I'll get a couple of these. They have like beaded head scales, huge labials. Look at this snake. And that is a boy. Ooh! Little pee fountain. You're welcome, YouTube. So Glenn said this is the best one out of the clutch, and he said he's giving it to me. Sorry. But all jokes aside, this thing is pretty nuts, man. Look at that. Look. So the best one of the bunch for 2020 is a female. Yep. Alright, so anybody looking for female Sanzinia, come fight me.
They're all sold, by the way.
Yeah, so you can't get them anyway.
Hit Riley up, see if he has any. Don't text me.
Woo! Firecrackers going off. Yeah, you have to go through me. And I'm just going to tell you no. Hi! So So obviously I'm not going through and showing you all of them because there's not much to see here, but with boas you can palpate and you can feel hemipenes in the tail. And that is a boy. I'm a real boy. Oh, it never gets old seeing them do this. Bling! Oh, I poured water on myself. Look at this. Oh, that's so rad. Alright, so this is our last contestant to play the game of whose butt is Riley touching today? Hey, hey, hey. Simmer down. Rest on my arm. Alright, buddy. You're a good-looking boy.
Alright. 13 for 13.
Boom. He didn't even need me to come over here and sex him. He just wanted to watch me get peed on and bit by his snakes. It's just like Travis. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at some of his adults here. He's kind enough to let me play with his private animals here. And this is just a stunning example of an adult Mandarin Phase Madagascar Tree Boa, commonly referred to as Sanzinia. They're quintessential big bulldog heads. These animals are known for being really, really placid as adults, so I have no issues picking up and handling these snakes, and typically they're very curious and tolerant. So, but look at this. This is a good size animal. This is an adult male. This is a breeder, not very large. They do really well in rack systems. You can give them arboreal stuff, but I find they really like to just be hunkered down and sheltered. They spend a lot of time on the ground. Everybody I've known to keep them, even in arboreal setups, they're on the ground hidden a lot. So, you know, you listen to your animals, you keep them well, and they'll thrive for you. And this guy's obviously doing really well in breeding, producing some of the coolest looking babies. So, what a treat. What an absolute treat. So now we're going to put this guy away, and we're going to take a look at some of Glen's earlier offspring that he produced that are unique. Just isn't the right word. Different, special, one of a kind, two of a kind, I guess. So let's start with this one. We'll work our way up. Look at this. Is that yellow just not unreal? I mean, this is a Mandarin. You know, the head is Mandarin, and these things came from two Mandarins, but I don't know, you know, Bill Hughes is the only other person with some high yellow stuff. I've never seen anything like this out of Mandarins other than right here and what few photos Bill shows, but look at that yellow. That's just nuts. This is an absolute screaming animal. So we're just gonna double check this one. Yep, this is also a female. The nice thing with boas, again, you can palpate, but Sanzinia in particular, they will have vestigial spurs at the base of their cloaca, and if you can't see anything here, it's because there isn't anything there. But if this were a male, you would see a little spur. It's like an elongated old remnant of a toenail from, you know, over their millions of years of existence. They've sort of lost the use of legs from their ancestors, but the males will have these spurs to sort of tickle a female's back and sort of stimulate her during the breeding season. So it's one of the unique tells in determining gender in these species. But with animals, there's always gray areas. You never can be sure. I've definitely seen animals that had spurs and were females in different species. So it's always good to double check, which is what we're doing right now. Alright. So if you thought that one was bright, this thing is just nuts. Nice. Orange, yellow, purple, like, what is this thing? If you're watching this right now, you're like me going, holy cow, I need these. I need these. Look at this. This is a beautiful animal. This is a 2-year-old, right?
Yep.
Yep. So, 2 years old. You saw the babies earlier. Fit in the palm of your hand. 2 years right here. So not a crazy, like, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a crazy, uncontrollable growth rate. Good, healthy, steady growth rate. Big, beautiful, blocky head. But I'm seeing, like, orange in here. And just this intense colors. Unlike anything I've ever seen. And again, no spurs on this one. I don't feel anything in there. Yeah, it's a female. So, if these aren't two of the prettiest female Mandarin Phase Sanzinia that you've ever seen, you're a flat out liar. Because that's a fact. Just unbelievable. Look at this. Look at this snake. That was pretty cool, guys. I don't know about you, but I love going to see somebody else's collection. Everything's always different. The animals they keep are different. The style of enclosures they use, how they keep, everything's different, and it's very refreshing. For me, it's kind of like reinvigorating and inspiring myself in that moment. So definitely wanted to bring you guys along because that's always cool. It's good to see other people's collections and kind of step out of your comfort zone a little bit. So definitely big thank you, Glen, for having me over. Anybody who doesn't know Glen's stuff, you've been sleeping under a rock. And thank you for feeding my corn snake addiction that is just starting. So yeah. Anyway, headed back home now. And just gonna go enjoy the rest of the day, do some more cleaning, get back to it. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I'll catch you all next week. Take care.